Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I fell into a financial hole this last year, and I've been following your steps. I'm 34, but since I was 17, I had my daughter, and I've been trying to stay out of debt and build wealth, and I just keep falling out of step 4. But I got married. My husband opened some credit cards last year because, against my will, I've never owned a credit card until last year. And so currently I'm standing with student loans, unfortunately, at like $120,000 of debt. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to get out of it. I have 3 vehicles. One of them's completely paid off. One of them only has $6,000 left on it. And then my husband bought a brand new car 2 years ago against my will. And so currently I can sell my $6,000 truck. I can maybe trade in my one that's paid off.
It's not going to help.
Okay.
You're going to keep doing the same crap.
I know.
Your husband just goes and buys whatever he wants, and there's no you can't get out of debt faster than he gets in it, honey.
Yeah.
You don't have a debt problem. You got a husband problem.
I do. I put him on a budget. I took away all of his cards. We talked
He's not
about
a child.
I know.
We're not punishing him. We want him to be a grown man and actually make good decisions.
Yes.
Instead of a spoiled little brat that goes and buys a truck that he can't afford.
Yeah.
How old is this guy?
Oh,
4?
He's 43.
Dear Lord. Okay. Well,
honey,
this is a marriage problem, number one.
You keep borrowing money a little bit because you're not disciplined, and he does whatever the flip he wants, and you all aren't going to fix this until you fix the people in your mirror.
Yeah.
You and your husband need to sit down together and say, honey, this is not working. What we're doing is stupid. We keep going backward and backward and backward and backward. We're acting like a couple of children, and this is not okay. This is the discussion the two of you need to have. It's time for y'all to start making some grown-up decisions instead of just buying crap just because you feel like it.
Yeah.
The impulsiveness in this story just keeps circling back around and circling back around, and that's what you guys have got to deal with. And I don't think he wants to. I don't think he thinks there's a problem.
I can agree with you. We've actually had a conversation a couple of days ago. I've been trying to pull us out of this.
Yeah, you can't. You've got to stop that. The only way you're going to pull you guys out of this is if he helps.
Yeah.
You have a shovel, he has a bulldozer, and he's going to keep destroying this thing. And so you guys are misaligned
by the way,
on values.
You haven't fallen into debt. You've jumped into debt.
Yeah.
It was a very intentional act. You didn't fallen indicates an accident. It was not an accident. You did it on purpose. So quit using words like, I fell into, you didn't fall. I jumped back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the two of you need to sit down with him and say, honey, this terrifies me. I can't live like this. I don't like feeling out of control. I don't like these people owning our lives. I don't like feeling like we're working our tail off and we got nothing to show for it but payments. And I don't like not being able to trust you because of your immaturity and your impulsiveness. I want us to get on the same page and have some long goals and start sacrificing to hit those goals. I've got to have that because this is killing me.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing about this guy that is a possible redeeming feature is maybe he actually loves his wife. If he does, and his wife says to him, honey, I'm scared. Help me. This is killing me. I can't stand this. He has to respond to that if he loves his wife.
Yeah.
But if he's a complete narcissist and just is going to go off and do whatever he wants to do anyway, then you've got a bigger issue than a money issue, kiddo. And it's a problem. So you've got to try to get him to the table and talk about growing up and talking about doing things on purpose with intentionality. George, I got to tell you, I see this stuff. I recognize it so clearly because it's exactly what I did. When I read in Proverbs, it says, he who is impulsive exalts folly.
Mm.
And I studied that a little bit, and I realized the word folly is a fool in action. So if you're impulsive, when I was impulsive, and I'm pretty stinking, I was like the king of it. I made that guy look like a genius, okay? That's how bad I was. When I realized, those that are impulsive are a fool in action.
Mm.
That's a fool in motion. And I thought, and this is a biblical fool. This is not like, hey, fool. It's not a greeting. This is like an idiot. I looked at myself and I went, I'm a fool in action.
Of biblical proportion.
Of biblical proportions. It woke me up, man. It woke me up.
What was behind that? Was it a pride? Was it an arrogance? Was it a greed? Was it all of it? Because there's got to be a piece of this where you go, I feel like I know better. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to be the genius who gets us out of this.
No,
or is it just an immaturity? Just an emotional?
For me, it was immaturity.
Spiritual immaturity? Of just
I have no control. It's impulsive. An impulse. You act on impulse rather than on thought or intentionality. The opposite of it is wisdom. The opposite of it is steady, careful, thoughtful. That's the opposite of impulsive. Impulsive is a child.
It's delayed gratification and instant gratification.
Exactly. And when you think about what is it, when you buy something and they say that's an impulse item. You heard that, right?
Yep.
Well, what is that? That's something you gave absolutely no thought to. And it was done without consideration of anything else.
Just sort of as you're checking out, you see the little item there and you go, yeah, that sounds good.
It's of no consequence, and yet when you add it up, it's all of consequence. It is the consequence. The consequence is you're broke. And I feel sorry for that guy and her. Poor Caitlin, she's got a mess on her hands because it is a childish behavior. It's an immature, and when I was doing it, I was like the king of it. And people say things like, well, I work hard, so I deserve it. That's what they say when they do something stupid like that. I used to say that. It's like, I deserve, what do you deserve? I deserve to be broke and in debt, but I got a nice car because I have no off button at all. I just do whatever feeling comes into my little self. And man, I was that guy. Mm-hmm. And I just went, God, I don't like this guy. And he's broke all the time. He's a problem child.
I can understand it if you're just a single guy, no responsibilities. But for a guy with a wife and kids, I don't understand.
It's not okay. There's no demographic that makes being immature and self-centered, selfish, and shallow okay. And I was every bit of that. It's not. It's okay if you're single to do that. No, it's not.
It affects other people when there's.
Well, poor Caitlin. She's trying to swim over here, and he keeps throwing her a concrete block instead of a life preserver. And here, hold this, honey. Here's a new truck payment. It's like, can't breathe. I can't breathe. Here, hold another one.
Until you get to the root of it, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah,
that's a tough one.
And what's weird is when you are impulsive, you'll impulse some big stuff, like a car or a $50,000 truck, And I think that's one of the things that going broke and learning this biblical money stuff helped me to grow up and go through that. By the time I went broke, I wasn't impulsive anymore at that degree, but it's always been easy for me to make decisions. I'm a decisive person, and you can kind of like say, well, I make decisions quick. No. You're just a 4-year-old. You're just an immature little child. That's different than making decisions quickly.
Most of life is just pushing down the inner toddler, going, no, not today.
That's it. The inner toddler. That's my problem. This is The Ramsey Show. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.